Welcome back, you beautiful bastions of freedom. The BBOF reporting, beachside. All right, listen, guys, we got to talk about something that really needs to be discussed. So if you guys are down with this mission of the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, all the amendments, you know, that whole Bill of Rights, that pesky thing that stops tyrants from getting involved in our lives in an overbearing manner, which takes our freedoms and then affects the generations after. If you want to stop that, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. We are grinding towards 600,000 subs and that freedom that coincides with it. So let's get into the point. All right, listen. Trump did something yesterday, and this is something that needs to be repeated in multiple points of impact. You're talking about hardening of schools, but not just hardening of schools, and this is important because Trump just set the opening concept of having an armed populace, an armed citizenry, an armed security service. Now, the reason this is so massive is hardening of schools is by far the easiest and most obvious thing on the planet to do when you have an issue. And here's what I mean by that. Think about it in the medical field. Think about it in the technology field. Think about it in any field of which you have a job in or had a job in if you're retired, you know, whatever. When you have an immediate issue, what is the first thing that you do? The first thing you do is you stop the status quo that is causing the problem. You freeze everything. You apply an immediate tourniquet to the issue. And then you resolve a problem and you slowly reinstate it. You slowly turn the machine back on. We are not doing that. What's happening on the left is saying, hey, school shootings bad, therefore take all rights from people. No, that would be nuking the system. Don't do that. We have these whole rights things. We have these concerns, you know, tyranny, the concern of history, the concerns of the citizenry, all these pieces. So let's not kill the patient to solve the problem. That's step one. Now, the right, in this case, Trump, is saying we should harden the schools. What that is applying a direct tourniquet to the actual issue by stopping it in its tracks so we can provide a long-term issue. You stop the immediate bleeding in the short term, you apply a long-term solution, and you fix the problem. The left has a very big issue that we need to focus on a whole lot more, particularly the gun controllers. Because they like to say that we have blood on our hands. They like to say everything's our fault. They like to say that we like guns more than we like children. Of course, that's not true. It's insulting and stupid. However, the left refuses to do anything about solving the problem except taking the guns, which is their preferred solution. So who is the one that is willing to sacrifice children, sacrifice safety, and sacrifice security when they don't get their way? We need to frame that like that more. Anyway, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. I'm heading back to the studio where we are going full steam ahead. I will see you on our next episode. I'm Braden. See you later.